Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Whatever time of day you're watching this, you are very, very warmly welcome to the Linked Ladies Lucen Live Show, which runs every Monday, 12:30 UK time and whatever time it is where you are. Now, thanks to the pandemic, working from home is now pretty much a normal thing for a lot of us to do. And with that comes this feeling of disconnection from teams and organizations that we work with. So we're here today to be your working from home team, and every Monday. Maybe you're missing that bit of camaraderie. Maybe you're feeling a bit stuck on something and you just want someone to talk it through with. We can do that with you. Maybe you've got a problem this week that you want to discuss with us. Maybe we can help shed some light on it. Or maybe you just want to say hi and tell us what you did at the weekend and just feel like you're at that water cooler that we don't get to sit around or stand around or have a coffee around during the day because we're not in the office. Maybe something amazing has happened. Maybe you want to shout someone out. Let's share some good news as well. Whatever it is, we are here for you today, and we want to be able to just give you that little spring in your step so you can fly into the rest of this week feeling pumped, ready to go, unblocked from whatever's getting in your way, and just feel like we've got people here that have got your back. So it's not just us, but there's people in the comments as well that you can chat to. So a huge warm welcome to you all. So let's see if there's anyone saying hello to us already, shall we? But before we do that, let's say hello to Vanessa and Melinda.
Hello, good afternoon. Yeah, so please, if anybody is watching, I think there might be one or two of you out there, please say hello now in the chat, and then we can kind of welcome you formally. So say hello, and then maybe after you've said hello, tell us who you are and what you do, and let's make sure everyone connects to everyone, because we are your working from home team, and we're only going to build this community if we all connect with each other.
Cool. And Melinda said hello. Oh no, that was a private chat.
No, I posted a link in there because that we might need later.
Okay.
Because for some reason I'm not able to post in the main chat right now.
Okay, well that's cool. Well, maybe Vanessa, who's got the all-seeing, all-dancing spectrum, might be able to do that for you. Just to add a little bit to that as well. Today we're going to be talking about working from home, which a lot of us are, and whether that's impacted you, whether you feel that it's getting in the way of your promotions, maybe now, maybe in the past, maybe you feel it's impacting your ability to get bonuses, a salary increase, maybe you're not getting the training that other people are getting who are regularly in the office. Put my teeth back in. So I want to have a little dig around in that as well, see what's going on, and also give you some help and thoughts and tips and advice on how you can make sure that you can overcome that if it is your reality. So we'll be talking about that as well. But I think we've got a few people coming in saying hello.
Yes, I see my friend, my contact and friend Mandy has arrived. Hello, Mandy.
Hey, Mandy. Nice to have you on board.
That's Mandy. So we've got Ashley as well. So thanks for joining us, Ashley. I was on Ashley's course this morning. I already love LinkedIn anyway, but I met Ashley a couple of weeks ago and thought, I'm going to join his course and find out what is it I don't know about LinkedIn.
Did you find out?
It's 15 minutes every morning through to Friday. So I'll let you know how we go on.
This is the one, Ashley, you're the one that says you're going to make us love it in 15 minutes, or it only takes 15 minutes, something like that. I can't remember what it was, but it's along those lines.
He's the 15-minute guy. That's what it's on his headline.
I think that's a good thing to be known as.
Yeah. There you go. So hello to Uma.
Hi, Uma.
So I've known Uma now for, it must be about 18 months since I first started really kind of playing with LinkedIn. So it's really lovely that we're still all connected. And then we've got Tracy. Tracy Walters says hello. And then there's a few people who are just come up as LinkedIn users. And I tried to look into how you can fix that. And with StreamYard, you have to click a link on StreamYard, don't you? Yeah. I can't find out what it is with Restream, what you have to do. So I'm sorry.
I think it's the same thing. You have to give us access, or you have to give access to Restream for us to be able to see you. But whoever you are, we're very, very happy that you're there.
Yes.
So lovely to know you're there. You're invisible, but we know you're there. Good.
So where in the LinkedIn page is this live? So at the minute, this should be going live on my platform, on Sarah's, and on Melinda's. It's also going live on various Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter feeds as well of the three of us. And so wherever you might be watching, hello.
Yeah, you should be getting this at all angles. The chance of avoiding it is slim, but I'm glad you found it anyway. But yeah, if you go to any of our pages at this time of day on a Monday, you should be able to find it. But also let us know if we do invite people, but we don't get everybody's names to be able to invite them for some reason. The way LinkedIn works is special, I'm sure, and will tell us about that. But just send us a message and we'll send you the link if you'd like to join us again.
Yep. And so hello to Melanie as well. Melanie says hello.
Hello, Melanie. Thank you.
I think that's everyone at the minute.
All right, lovely. Well, nice to know there's some people out there, and I'm sure more people will be joining us as we go through this. So do let us know that you've arrived and just say hello to us whereabouts you are in the world. Because apparently we were global last week and the week before. Where do we have? South Africa, was it last week?
We've had Cape Town, we've had Stockholm, Switzerland.
Yeah, we're getting
people from the
Bolton,
US, New York, and
Ramsbottom,
Ramsbottom. So we're getting around, which apparently is a good thing. Good. All right. So let's just start things off with a bit of how was your weekend, ladies? What did you get up to? Tell us what you guys have been up to as well in the chat. And Lucy's just popped in and said hello. Hey, Lucy. Nice to know that you're there. Welcome. So what have you been up to at the weekend, folks? All of you, let us know what you've been up to. But let's start with you, Melinda. Any dressing up involved this weekend?
Only for like going out kind of dressing up, not costuming effect.
Okay.
But I met a few friends for a Christmas gathering on Saturday, and I mean, transport was a bit of drama because there were no trains or tubes due to works and strike, but but on the plus side, I managed to somehow dance for 13K according to my watch. So that was my workout done. And I've managed to excavate my Christmas decorations from the loft, but haven't completely got assembled yet.
Cool, you're getting there. At least it's down from the loft now. And I remember talking to you a few weeks ago when you showed me your app that you'd danced even more than that before. So it's incredible. I don't do dancing anymore. My knees are terrible. God, I sound old. But good for you. Okay. Found you via Melinda's page, which is a great name, but place only. Yeah, thanks, Joanne. We need to sort this out. We are going to get really, really professional about this soon, aren't we? The hashtag,
it's a learning process. We're trying to sort out the best tech path, and it's
the hashtag
trial and error.
Link Ladies Live page. If you follow that, yes, it should all come up there, what's been going on, but it should be coming up there too. But maybe I know why it hasn't, because we haven't paired to that yet. We're going to sort it out. But I reckon by at least February next year, we're going to look really professional and like we have some clue what's going on. Anyway, Vanessa, how was your weekend?
Yeah, great. So what happened? Friday, picked up Alistair from school, got a huge Christmas tree. So this is my little charity office Christmas tree. And then the one in the lounge is kind of 6 foot wide. It's huge and glorious. So we did that. We volunteered at Rivington on Saturday. So we were kind of up in the pigeon tower, kind of letting people to come in if they pay us a donation. And then Sunday I got jabbed. That was it, really. We just lots of house decorations and watched Nativity. We were talking about Christmas films last weekend. So we've watched all 4 Nativities over the weekend.
Wow, good for you. Well played. Well played. Good for you. All right, I think some people have popped in and let us know what they've been up to.
Mandy had a music theory lesson and she entertained friends in the evening. Very good. And celebrated Hanukkah.
Mandy plays the cello, by the way, as a kind of a side hobby.
Cool. Very nice. And happy Hanukkah to everybody that celebrates that. I kind of fell off the wagon of religion a while ago, but I do remember many happy days as a child celebrating Hanukkah and being very. We never was celebrating Christmas, so I was always very glad we celebrated Hanukkah. Now it's gone the other way and we do the other one. But I used to be quite envious of my friends who celebrated both. Because they'd get a present every day, every time a candle was lit on the 8th day.
Nice
They'd get Christmas presents as well. It seems so unfair. But anyway, happy Hanukkah to all. Managed to get some Christmas shopping done and prepare for an interview. Oh, good. And buy something for myself. Very good. Always good to buy something for yourself. I did actually pop into town this weekend after lunch with friends, and not to buy anything in particular, just to get into that feel. And I was just walking around humming Christmas tunes to myself and felt very festive, and bought nothing for myself, but lots of clothes for the kids. So that was good. Mandy also celebrates both. Good for you, Mandy. Why not? Robert's in. Hello, Robert. I'm talking to Robert in a little while as well. Congrats, Vanessa. Right, he's over from New York. He's in New York and also received the booster. And touch wood, all feeling good, Robert. It's making me feel confident for next week.
I'd heard from quite a few people who'd had because I think both mine were the AstraZeneca one, and then I had the Pfizer one, because I think they're only doing the kind of Pfizer or Medina, aren't they now? And a few people have said, I thought I was going to be really ill, but I've had no side effects. My arm's been a bit tender, but I've been absolutely fine. So
I had the same recipe little over 2 weeks ago now, and with AstraZeneca for the first 2. And I think the objective is for the third one, they're trying to do one different one to kind of give your body kind of a broader spectrum of protection. Yeah. So I had the Pfizer as my booster. And aside from the sore arm the next day and a few waves of feeling a little bit tired, no major kind of side effects on that. So hopefully, anybody who's looking to get a booster and feeling maybe unsure, maybe you can take some comfort in, it's not like it's going to lay you out, hopefully, for any period of time.
No, I've got mine booked. I am doing it. I was doing penance watching Hallmark movies with wifey. Robert, I'm sure that'll gain you some brownie points. And have we said hello to Lucy? Have we seen Lucy's message? I can see Lucy. I can't press on it, but hey, Lucy. So the three of us sat with Lucy on Wednesday night when we went to our Christmas party, and it was so lovely to see you, Lucy. I don't know if you're still there, but thank you for joining us. And somebody's had 2 Pfizers, then another Pfizer booster. And in fact, they're still typing, they are still with us, which is good.
It's always good. Yeah.
That's always good news to know, isn't it? Cool. All right then. So great to know that some people have been doing some Christmas shopping. Glad to know everyone's well. We've had an update on the booster. Everything's going well. So no side effects for me. Got the Pfizer. Good, Robert. Everything's good. Watching films and having boosters and feeling well. You are just, you're on fire. So what's going on in your world then, people out there? What's happening for you this week? Is there anything you're particularly looking forward to? Is there anything you're worried about? Have you got any problems? Anything getting in your way? I don't know. Is your boss driving you mad? Or one of your team members? Maybe there's a project problem that you want to get some thoughts on. Maybe you're stuck with how to market something. We have a marketeer, we have a strategist, we have a coach. We can come up with opinions on everything, whether we know the answers or not. So just let's talk, as they say on the BT ad, or at least they used to. So what's going on? Anything that's in your way? Any questions you've got for us? Anything that's come up? I don't know if you can see on the screen, Vanessa, whether anyone's got anything coming up yet. But if not, shall we move swiftly into, well, first of all, is there anything you guys are looking forward to this week? Anything you've got going on?
Alistair, my son, goes into double digits this week. He turns 10, which is terrifying, isn't it? That's huge. And he is almost it's just massive.
It's huge. He's still very little, but it's quite a milestone when they hit the double digits.
So we're going to a climbing wall with a few friends at the weekend. So that'll be
very nice. Yes. Very nice too. And what about you, Melinda? Got anything juicy planned for this week?
I am looking forward to getting my tree up and getting the lights up, because that always helps to brighten up, when it's been a bit dark and gloomy. And don't have any, big specific plans, but hoping to put together, not hoping to, I will be putting together
Well done.
a proposal for a body of work that I'm hoping to get. So I just need to do a statement of work and a quote on it and get that delivered to my potential client.
And I'm very glad you picked up that you were hoping. You are not hoping. You are going to get.
Oh, I have to, and that will be done. So
we know hope is a terrible strategy, but yeah, good for you. Good for you. All right. Well, while we're waiting to hear whether there's anything that we can help you with, or if there's anything you want to share, I'd like to kick off today's discussion around working from home and the impact this has had on you. Maybe in the past, maybe now. It's, now more and more people are working from home. Does it affect our visibility? Does it affect our ability to get promoted, to get the salary increases that those maybe in the office are getting? Maybe we're missing out on training. Maybe we just feel like we're just missing out, or we're just not being involved as much, because that's going to have an impact as well. So I have to say, from a personal point of view, I mean, obviously I've worked from home, worked for myself for nearly 8 years. So this isn't something that I'm impacted by, but I can well believe that if you're not seen, you're probably not heard, which means you're not in the forefront of people's minds. But my query is that the people's fault who are doing the promoting and everything else, or is that our responsibility? Are we just using that as an excuse and we're not showing up? So we're going to get a bit of discussion going on this. And I know, Melinda, you've got some brilliant facts to be sharing with us as well. I'm just going to share the ones that I have picked up, if I can find them. Hold on one moment. Yeah, so the stuff that I was looking at over the weekend is pre-pandemic, and I know you've got pre and post. But looking at the data from the Office of National Statistics, I've got the numbers to the side of me, so excuse me while I look there. But in 2013, 2020, 38% of people were less likely to receive a bonus if they work from home, which is significant, right? So it is a thing. And in the same sort of period of time, less likely to be promoted and receive training so that they could be upskilled and be promoted. So there's something going on there. But now, obviously, fast forward, pandemics occurred. A lot of us are working from home. We're getting more used to it. Has this been enough to change that around, I wonder? What are people saying?
Well, I think Mandy and I have worked together in the past. So we both had a role which was primarily home-based.
Yeah.
So it was doing consulting work. So you either working from home or you were at a client site. You were not, in the office with your colleagues. You were off by yourself in front of a client doing presentations, leading workshops, that sort of thing, or you're working from home and occasionally dropping in on the office. But it was more, you would drop in to stay visible, not necessarily because you were expected to be there.
Yeah. And I just saw Robert's comment come in as you were talking, saying, sorry, that's simply not fair. Absolutely agree with you. I mean, that's kind of alluded to before. I come at it from two angles, which is who's at fault here? Is it the organisation deliberately not recognising or not taking the time to recognise people who are not visible? Is it something to do with a lack of trust because there was this perception that working from home meant you were skiving from home, which always has driven me mad because I've never worked as hard as I do working from home. I mean, the other bit of the stats I picked up were that the number of additional hours over the norm that the working from homers do way exceeds people in the office. So
I actually have a statistic for that.
Okay, well, let's
so it was showing. Let's see it. Of course, now I have to find it.
Just go back to what Lucy just said. Sorry, I missed that. So Lucy started a new job 6 months ago by using Teams, Workplace, basically a Facebook for work and reaching out to folks. It's been just as productive as if I was in the office. Yeah, you have to embrace a change, not work against it. You absolutely do, Lucy. And I think I totally agree with that. You have to embrace it. And we are better placed now to avoid these things than we were before. But I still think there'll be a bit of a problem if everybody doesn't know how to show up and be seen and share what they're doing. But it's interesting, isn't it?
Yep.
Sorry, you found your...
Yep. Yes, I did. I just had to scroll down from where I was. I'm
Okay.
actually looking at the source of my information is a white paper from a woman that I know on LinkedIn who's called Sherry Bevan, and she is working with companies, especially in the technology realm, to close the gender pay gap. And she recently wrote this white paper about a week ago. She published it, a link to it on her LinkedIn page. And one of the statistics is saying that in 2015, researchers from the Stanford Graduate School of Business found that while people working from home were 13% more productive, they were not promoted at the same rate as their in-office colleagues. The author commented that it was striking how promotion rates plummeted to roughly half the promotion rate compared with people who worked in the office.
Wow.
I was reading a report over the weekend, and there are two effects. One is called this was a report on BBC Work Life, and it said there's two effects. One is the mere exposure effect, and the other is the halo effect. The mere exposure effect just means that being there, being present, creates an affinity. They believe they like you more because they see you more. And then the halo effect means that spreads out. Because they see you more, they automatically start thinking you're more productive. And it's just kind of these biases that perhaps we all have. And so I think, as we've said, there's leaders, managers, team managers need to manage it and realize that these effects might be taking place, but help their teams to be more present in a way that they can see. But also, employees need to step up and show up, don't they? And that's difficult for some people. It's easier for people like me. Yeah, hi, everyone. I'll turn my camera on. I'll be in your face. That's absolutely fine. But not everyone is that extroverted, are they?
Well, they're not. And although there is a certain level of, what's the word I'm looking for? If you're in a meeting with people and you were face to face, you wouldn't sit with your back to them, would you? So
No.
there's a certain amount of etiquette that just because we've gone online, to me, I find it incredibly rude. If people want to do a video call and they have the video off, then just pick up the phone. Don't bother. Why have my face on there and not yours? That's just distracting to me because I'm like, talking to myself. But I think there's a certain level of, it isn't just about introversion. It's also about, I think it's about not being rude. You know, if you're joining a meeting. Now, there are other reasons people don't turn their cameras on. One is they didn't want to be there. Two is they can't see the point in being there. Three, they just are being disrespectful. And there's probably a load of other things as well. But and those are all underpinned by other problems, which is why have they been invited to the meeting? Why didn't they stand up and say, I shouldn't be in this meeting, it's not relevant to me? Why isn't the meeting relevant in the first place? Don't start me on this. I have a thing about it. Let's see what Robert says. He had a short role a while back, but felt like Teams was too much Big Brother. Yeah, you kind of, it's now you can't seem to get away with not having video calls. You know, people almost just assume, and I will, actually, Robert, we're talking later. I'm assuming video calls is all right. But whether you can just pick up the phone to people, you just need to ask, don't you?
The thing is with Teams has that little green light that says you're there and available, or it's a red light, which means you're there, but you're busy. And there's things like that. And that's why that Big Brother thing comes in. But if you were sat in the office, people would be able to see you there. So it's just, I think we have to get away from this fear of technology. But I can understand it. And a few people have said similar things. So Mandy says we should embrace the technology. She does, and she's grateful for it, and she's a counsellor. All she knows is that the potency connection is greater in the face-to-face physical space in the room, and that's absolutely right. But I think that whole showing up, as you were saying, being present on camera for meetings is so important. And another thing that really gets me, we've been doing this now for at least 18 months. If you haven't got a camera that looks at you straight, that isn't trained, if you show up to meetings so that we can just see your forehead
or up your nose,
then
sort yourself
stop it.
out.
But I don't think that's respectful either.
No.
Embrace the technology, show up like you're going, not like you're going to an interview every day, but show up, and it's just like, as we talk about LinkedIn and promoting ourselves on LinkedIn, and it's all that like me, know me, trust me. Show up as you want to be liked. People don't put the camera on because they've not washed their hair, or they've not combed their hair, or they can't be bothered. As you were saying, it's a lack of respect. So
it is. There's a lot of things going on, and people are getting away with it. And what I dislike is when organisations allow that to happen. If I'm running a group coaching program for people, and 10% of the people don't put their cameras on, and the others do, what does that say to me? What's the respect for me? What's the respect for the other people? If they don't want to be there, they should be given the choice not to be there. But if you're going to be there, show up. There's something that's come up from Mandy. Oh no, we've done that one. Sorry, about embracing the technology. There was something else I saw. Oh, interesting topic from LinkedIn user. There we go.
Joanna.
Yeah, I've wondered how businesses managed inclusion, etc. when had some first lockdown. Hi, Joanna. I think people really struggled, and for those of I was in a business that often did virtual meetings anyway and virtual training, because if I was coaching or training somewhere across the globe, it wasn't necessarily going to be with me getting on a flight. I could do it like this. So some of us embraced it a lot quicker, but others less so. But there is no choice.
I've been doing it since, probably about 2001.
Yeah.
And actually the technology is so much better, just in the last couple of years, because it had been, it was an epiphany when you could show a slideshow or do a screen demo, but you couldn't have your own camera at the same time. And so there was always an element of sort of disconnect with your audience. And it was quite hard to build rapport and a relationship with the audience when you were doing remote training. So the camera is quite good now. And I would say, for anybody who's struggling, who uses virtual backgrounds and notice themselves pixelating and stuff, that's really distracting especially if you're doing a presentation. So it's probably less distracting if you're just against a blank wall, or if you want to use the virtual background for branding purposes or whatever. You need to have your top, and what you are wearing needs to be a contrast to what's behind you. So if you're wearing white and you're against a white wall, there's no way that the program can figure out what's you and what's the wall. So because I'm sure you've all seen the lovely effect when people are remote working and they're sort of pixelating themselves in and out of the picture, and it's really distracting. And if you want to be taken seriously, and if you want to be considered, if you're in a meeting with upper management and you want to present yourself in a professional way, even if you don't normally sit with your back to the wall, maybe if the rest of your house is a bit untidy, or there's kids stuff around or whatever, just rotate. And so you've got a simple background behind you, because it really makes a difference for how people will perceive your capabilities if you've got kind of a cheesy background.
Yeah, I'm afraid there's so many biases going on in our brains, and something that always blows people's minds when I say this is that if you knew how many messages had gone between my brain and your brain in the first 7 seconds, then you'd understand why clearing the clutter, she says, with the whole load of clutter behind her. I'm an expressive, you need to know that. You need to not give anybody a reason to dislike you, which is alluding to what Vanessa said a few minutes ago. But have a guess, actually, Melinda and Vanessa and anyone else out there. Let's have a game. How many messages go between two people's brains in 7 seconds? And Johnny, you're not allowed to answer because you might know this because I told you. And you're very cheeky, Johnny. I've just seen your note. Cheeky fella. So how many? Yes. Oh, yeah. Nice to have you on board, Johnny. Raising the tone. So how many messages do you reckon? What do you think?
Ooh, hundreds?
No, I'm going to go for thousands. So I'm going to go.
How many thousands are you going to go for?
1 million. No, I would say 20,000.
20,000. Okay, and
which is it's a completely random guess. There is no science behind it whatsoever.
And Lucy, thank you for playing. It's not 11. It's actually somewhere in the region of 350,000 messages. Now, most of these are unconscious or subconscious. There's only a handful, possibly nearer 11, that are actually conscious messages. So this is how we make up so many stories in our heads about whether we like someone, whether they're right for us, whether we want to speak to them. Everything gives off triggers and clues to our subconscious and our unconscious mind. And imagine if those were all conscious, you'd literally be your brain would be blowing. But it just helps to understand that, because everything you can do to limit a bias going against you, the better. Exactly. So I don't know how I got onto that, but it's a big number. Lucy's thinking, I'm thinking of this 7-Eleven rule of first impressions. I don't know if I know that.
Now, I was going to say, in the US, a 7-Eleven is a convenience store, kind of where you can get, it used to be open from 7 in the morning till 11 at night, thus the name.
Tell us, Lucy, what is this 7-Eleven? Let's pop it in there. Melinda, have you got any other stats that you wanted to share us on going back to their working from home?
Yeah, I would think this is actually interesting. In this white paper from Sherry Bevan, it mentions that the research is still underway for this particular statistic, but there's been a historical trend that during the height of the pandemic and lockdown, more women were leaving the workforce than men, and that was largely because of additional demands placed upon them for caring for elder care or child care, that sort of thing. But what's also interesting is that for the women who remained in the workforce, the promotion rates for them grew. Now, where that becomes interesting is because these people may have been working from home before and had been at a slight perceptual disadvantage from people who are based in the office. But now everybody's at home. So now that's kind of leveling the playing field. So these people who may have been sort of overlooked before are suddenly being seen on a more level, standpoint. So I thought that was actually quite interesting. A little bit proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? It's like if you put everybody in the same, home working situation, the talents and skills trump the FaceTime and the schmooze in the office kitchen.
Yeah, interesting. There was that's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that, Lucy. That's great. I'm going to read that afterwards in more detail, but I just wanted to go back to one of our paired LinkedIn users with no name, which is some people can't put cameras on if they're forced to work in the kitchen or a bedroom. And actually, you're right, we're making it all sound very easy. Just to kind of not to counteract that, but just if someone comes onto a meeting and they say, look, I'm not in a suitable situation to be seen, the company should be providing you with a green screen or something else, because it doesn't help you connect or them connect to you if you're not being seen. But also, if you just pop on for just literally 10 seconds, say, I am here, but I don't want anyone seeing this around me. I don't know, there's got to be some way. Otherwise, you are potentially missing out and giving off information in those 350,000 messages every 7 seconds, which might not be the information you want to give to people. But I totally get you. Virtual backgrounds not always available. Yeah, it's not a one size fits all, but in general, if you can be seen, it's going to be better.
It isn't. I mean, let's talk about technology a little bit wider than the actual video screen then, because it's not just about showing up by camera. People have mentioned Teams. Email is such an old-fashioned and cumbersome way of working, and it's always difficult to find emails about that project or find the latest email about the project. Scrap email if you can. If your company works on Teams, then start using Teams for chats and projects and start showing up there. Because if you're sharing files in Teams or in Slack, in a Slack channel, something like that, then you're much more visible to a wider circle of people. And what you're doing and your responses to other people's work, again, makes you much more visible. So yeah, embrace the technology that you have. Don't hide away in email where you are hidden away and things get missed. Be present in your project and chat on Teams and on LinkedIn. Make sure you're connected to your colleagues and bosses, and be more present on LinkedIn as well. Because whilst you can, show yourself to be an expert or a thought leader on LinkedIn to your wider network, you can always do that as well with your colleagues and boost your personal brand there as well.
I would say the one caveat on Slack or Teams, but in particular Teams, I've been in situations where clients are part of, like, external people are part of a group within Teams. And that way, if a document is posted in that group, it's visible not only to the internal people, but also the external, which could be in some cases inappropriate. So just like the reply all button in email can bite you in the bum if you're not careful, and we've all had that bad experience. You do need to be careful in Teams, because many Teams are installations are structured so that external resources could be looped in on a project, which is relevant for that project, but you might not want contract information, for example, to be put in front of them.
Thank you. So I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Robin's comment that's just come up, which says, Melinda moved right top of the screen. Did I hallucinate? It's all those films from watching Robert.
That was me. So I have the power of the buttons. And so because Melinda was speaking, but we had a big message came up. So rather than cover Melinda's beautiful face while she's talking, I moved myself down, pushed Melinda up, and so that I was covered up, so that we could still listen to what Melinda was saying and see her. So
that's a genius. Right, I'm just looking at the time, ladies. We've only got a few minutes left.
7 minutes.
7 minutes left. So have we covered everything to help people overcome this lack of visibility? What else is there to say?
I think there's two aspects we need to think about here. Sorry, there's the individual aspects. Sorry, I'll be there in a second.
Honestly, you two, it's like herding cats. Melinda, you go first. Vanessa, just hold fire. Hold fire. I'm coming to you.
I was going to say there's two aspects. There's the personal aspects. There's things you can do yourself, but you also can work with your manager, and your manager should be working with you to ensure that if you're working remotely, you are still getting the visibility to upper management. And that's something where, if you're concerned about it, talk to your line manager and see if there are, special projects that you can get involved with that'll be quite critical to the upper management stream. If there are, any sort of work drinks or like on-site things, even if you don't drink, it is still worth showing up, because it is valuable, especially if people have come in from out of town, to show up and really make that effort when you're a remote person.
Yeah.
And when you do that, be prepared in that if you're going around, you're circulating, you're talking to upper management, they'll probably say, oh, so what are you working on? And if you tell them the most mundane things, they're immediately going to be bored and looking around for the next person they can talk to. So think about what will be most interesting to them that you're working on. So it's like, oh, I had an update call with this client that's really, like a high revenue client, and that project's going well, and blah, blah, blah. Just plan in advance what your little treasures of information are for each person of senior management who will be in attendance.
Yeah, very good. Vanessa.
So a couple of things. First of all, you have to manage your own expectations. Just because one of your colleagues is sending emails at 8 or 8:30 at night, that doesn't mean to say that you have to. It might be that they finished work at 3 to go and pick up the kids, take the dog for a walk before it went dark, and they might be adding up the hours later just to flexibly fit it all in. So don't feel pressured because some people are present virtually at 8:00 at night that you have to be. But also, if you are a team leader, if you are a boss, then you have to lead by example as well, and be aware of sending emails and messages outside of work hours, because that unfortunately does make your colleagues feel under pressure. But if you are going to do that, if you are, then tell them in advance that you'll be working flexibly and doing these extra hours, but there's no need for them to respond or act on it over the weekend. Because that's the thing, because we're all juggling these different hours to fit in all the different things. We are going to be sending emails late. But people need to understand that you're doing that, but there's no expectation for them to get involved in those hours. Yeah, and I think it's that whole productivity thing, presenteeism versus productivity. Maybe leaders can be better at setting productivity goals and clearer measures, so that then you know that week, this is what the team's working on, this is what we've got to get done, this is our priority, and you know, you're not expected to cross off 30 different things on the list. So maybe there's productivity messages that should go out there as well.
There's a whole lot of stuff that we can do, and just to sum it all up in the last couple of minutes, from a mindset coaching, emotionally intelligent leadership angle, is that if we communicate often and well, if we care about people, if we give people autonomy, if we make people feel part of something, the trust will be there. And work from there. Let's create an environment where trust is high, and then everything else starts to go from there. If we're starting to send things at midnight because we have to, that's wrong. If we're sending things at midnight because we've chosen to, then be clear, like you've just said, Vanessa, that we've chosen to. It's not a game. This isn't a game of who can do more. I mean, yes, maybe I do send emails on a Saturday night at 10 o'clock, but that's because I've taken my kids out every afternoon that week or something. So it's all, it's not a show thing. It's just I do what I need to do the way I need to do it. But communicate well. And if you've got leaders that you're working with that are not good communicators, send them over to me and see if I can sort it out. But good. Anything we've missed on the notes? I don't think there is.
I was going to say, while we're checking that's a really good segue, Sarah, because for anybody who has joined us for the first time, it would be really great if you're not following us all three of us on LinkedIn, to do so that way you'll get the updates for when we're going live, and you'll get the link in your feed. And also we are quite active, and we post a lot of content throughout the week that you might find useful and helpful.
Absolutely. Well done.
Shameless plug, but yeah.
No, it's good. Absolutely brilliant. And we love to get to know more people anyway. So yeah, the more we share, the more we learn, the better we all get. So let's all look after each other. Any final words from you? I shan't say words of wisdom, because you hate it when I do that, Vanessa, but any words of wisdom?
Well, we've not done on this topic, or are you, or for the week?
Well, we're just bringing it to a lovely round close now. So I don't know if there's any final words you wanted to share.
Well, we usually end with gratitudes, don't we? And there's a few people I want to thank. First of all, the guys who help you with the Christmas trees. And they're usually, young lads, and they're not kind of sales guys, and they're not really into all that. But the young chap who helped me with my Christmas tree told me about these wonderful, ingenious gold bags that you put at the bottom of your tree, and it's huge, and it's gold, and it's gorgeous. And then when you're done with the tree, you just pull it up over the tree completely. I never knew they existed until he told me about it. It was £2, which means that at the end I can just wrap it all up, drag the thing outside without the house getting a mess. So because they're not usually sales guys, but he told me about this, thank you to him. And then I want to say thank you to Andrew and the guys at Groundwork, who have done an amazing job in these past couple of weeks to get the visitor centre at Rivington up. And it looks so amazing. It's like a proper kind of kind of gift shop visitor centre. It looks so professional with all the kind of gifts and things in there. And we had a really good weekend this weekend. So thank you to them for doing that, because they've done an amazing job.
Good. We are out of time, I'm afraid. But if you've got any good news you want to share or any thank yous you want to shout out to people out there, pop them in there. We'll come and say woohoo or something to them and make sure that the good news gets spread.
And we're grateful to everybody who's shown up today and has been commenting. And this is for you, and it makes a big difference to have your comments. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, yeah. So spread the news. If you think there's people out there that are missing that bit of connection, could do with just some people to chat to, or maybe just want us on in the background while you're having a lunch or a cup of tea. Thank you, Mandy. Polished. Well,
polished, I know.
We'll take that. And Uma, thank you for coming along. She loves our logo. Thank you. I was going to say Melinda did that. That's terrible. It was Vanessa that did that. Well,
Vanessa did that.
But thank you to you all, and have a wonderful rest of your week. And if you can make it next week, come along and see us, and we'll have some more chats. Let us know if there's anything in particular you want us to cover. Today was all about working from home. What else is going on out there that you want us to talk about? We have opinions on everything, not sure to talk. So see you next week. Have a wonderful week and stay safe out there, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.